Let's cross down live to the man, the historian, the Ipswich historian. He knows everything about Ipswich. He finds out lots of things, and he has got historyouthere.com. You can check it out. All these stories go on his Facebook site, and it's interesting stuff. And, of course, Christmas is around the corner, and we're going to talk about the big fire, the Santa Claus fire of 1932. Harold Peacock. G'day, Harold.
Yeah, g'day, Danny. How you going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic, and excited about Santa coming in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, that's right. Well, tell us about the big fire in 1932, which is about 88 years ago.
Yeah, well, it's exactly 88 years ago this week when it happened. That's when Santa Claus caught fire. But, Danny, first, you've got to understand that history is littered with shocking Santa Claus events.
Right.
For example, in Melbourne at a musical in 1912, a match set fire to Santa's beard. It happened in a crowded building and panic ensued. No one was seriously hurt, but a few of the ladies were crushed in the rush for the exits. Now, yeah. And again in Melbourne in 1922,
right.
Santa was arrested after he was caught accepting money from parents at a Melbourne department store. And for that, he spent 7 days in jail.
Good one. Another one?
Still, yeah, look, in 1954, and this is just leading up to what the big story in Ipswich, of course, but in 1954, north of Melbourne, Santa was seriously burned when his cigarette fell into the folds on his suit and caught fire. He was admitted to hospital with second-degree burns, so it's a tough job.
So you had a Santa with a durry hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah, but of course, I guess he might have been replaced by other Santa's helpers that year, I suspect.
Yeah.
But it was that same year in 1954 in New York in America, Santa was arrested on a street corner after he started singing a bawdy version of Santa Baby. A huge crowd gathered around him, and he only stopped singing to abuse passers-by for not donating to his charity.
I thought he was flashing on the corner.
Yeah, but look, it was sad things happened in America in 1937 because that's when tragedy struck, when Santa drowned when he tried to parachute into a children's party. As he jumped from the plane, the parachute opened, but a wind took him out over Boston Harbour where he landed in the water. The children were horrified as they watched. Santa got out of the parachute, but the weight of his red suit in the icy water was just too much and he drowned. But, Danny, the tragedy didn't end there because the search for Santa caused 2 more accidents. A search plane propeller scissored a car and the man inside, and 2 men searching for Santa on the lake were rescued from drowning after their dinghy overturned. It was complete chaos.
My God, Father, poor old Santa. But what about the big fire? Where was that?
Yeah, look, well, that's right. That's a great Santa Claus fire of 1932 here in Ipswich. What happened? It was in a crowded hall of Ipswich's Methodist Sunday School. Right. A young boy went too close to the candles on the Christmas cake and he set fire to the Christmas decorations he was holding.
Right.
Look, and a dangerous situation really quickly developed. But Santa, seeing the danger, rushed to put out the fire.
Right.
But his own beard then burst into flames. Pandemonium threatened. But Santa, quick thinking, pulled off his coat and used that to smother his burning beard. He then threw the coat onto the flaming decorations, and so Santa managed to put out the fire before anything really serious developed. And unlike the Santa fire in Melbourne 20 years earlier, our Ipswich people stayed calm throughout. So in the end, Danny, Santa saved the boy and saved everyone in the crowded hall from the fire and a potential crush, but sadly, the Christmas decorations that year came to an abrupt end.
1932, we can find that on your website. What is it?
Yeah, it's historyouthere.com. In fact, there'll also be a picture of who represented Santa that year, because I think it's worth mentioning him, Danny, because he was actually a hero that night. It was 20-year-old Eddie Raymond, who lived here in Ipswich in Limestone Street, not far from the church. And like many people at the time, Eddie was struggling through the Great Depression, but ultimately found work with the railways. And so there's no doubt that year, Eddie added to the Santa legend in Ipswich.
What was his name?
And you can see that on historyouthere.com.
What was his name?
Eddie Raymond.
Eddie Raymond. Good on you, Eddie Raymond. You're a good man if you're still living around the place. He'd be very old at the moment.